friends, this is Prashanti. Welcome to Thursday Think Bites, microbes for macro impact. We have a very special guest here today, Mr. Sparsh Shah. He is a prodigy 22-year-old singer, rapper, and a motivational speaker. And he's also a Guinness World Record holder. It's very exciting to have you here, Sparsh. How are you feeling, sir?
Hi, Prashanti ji. First of all, you don't need to call me sir. I'm like literally you were telling me, right? Like I'm your daughter's age. Like
Aww,
just treat me as your son, you know? Um
absolutely.
yeah. I'm blessed. Thank God. It's been pretty crazy, but I'm very grateful for all of it because I mean it's just taught me so much. So yeah, I'm super excited to be here doing this interview with you. Um, when we connected yesterday, I absolutely loved talking to you, and I'm excited to continue that here in a way that hopefully a lot of people, right, will benefit from.
You have already touched so many billion hearts, Sparsh. So, I mean, I know you have this rare condition, but still you have redefined the art of possible. How did you go through this journey, Sparsh?
I would say two things. One is that I and my family have always believed that, you know, अगर हिंदी में कहते हैं तो जो होता है वो अच्छे के लिए होता है, right? And if anything happens, it's for your good. It's for the greater good. And so that I think is what propelled my family, especially in the early days when I was going through like a lot of fractures and surgeries and all of the pain that I experienced. At the same time, when it was my time, like after say like I would heal from fractures, I would heal from surgeries, and then what, right? And I think the other big belief that that carried our family through all of this is never believe that you can't do it. And so I think that's what gave my parents, first of all, the courage to say that, you know what, we're not going to hide Sparsh from the world. We're going to show him, we're going to show his talents. Um, and that's what gave me the courage to say, you know what, no matter how hard I may have to work, or no matter like what gets thrown in my way in between, where I am now and where I want to go, the fight is worth it. Because yeah, I know it's for my greater good, and because God gave me the capability of doing it. So I'm grateful to be here. And that's, I think, what brought me there,
But in
and
spite of
all of us.
so many constraints, you're still smiling, talking, and motivating others, not just motivating yourself. How did you accomplish so much? I mean, you're so young, 22 years old. I still can't believe all the hearts that you have touched. The Guinness World Record. How do you do this?
Hmm. I would say that from a tangible perspective, it is absolutely all about prioritization, prioritization, reprioritization. Asking yourself, what is the most important to me right now? And right now is also super important because I feel like life changes. We always change. And so our priorities are going to change because life happens. And so being able to ask myself that is what then gives me the ability to direct my energy towards something, right? Whether it's performing at an event, or it's working on a new song, or it's you know making content for social media, or it's you know uh, or it's doing an interview or doing a Guinness World Record, right? Or something. Like, what is important? From a non-tangible perspective, I would simply say is definitely leaning on my support system as much as possible. Um, whether that is my friends and my fans, and especially nowadays, I've really started to notice how valuable my friends are in my life, how much, I feel like they have given me as much value as I hope that I've given them. Um, I would even say more sometimes. And then my family, of course, the ones who gave me my values, the ones who gave me my courage, the ones who have always been the first to tell me when I'm wrong. Most of the time they are right. I was wrong. Uh, and and then just simply God. I mean, I don't know exactly how to explain this, but I feel like once you reach a certain level of awareness, like when you sit down and really think about it, everything, when you do it with the right intention and humility, everything becomes worship.
Wow,
And
that's
so, yeah.
wonderful. And how did you develop interest in music, rapping? How come?
Yeah, great question. So basically, I started singing, I think for as long as our family can remember. I would go on car rides. My mom and dad would play their music, right? Whether it was maybe a local radio or even more often they would play from their phones, their own playlists. So I would listen to like Bollywood, I would listen to Hollywood. They had a diverse playlist, especially my mom. And I would just sing. And even before I was singing, I was humming. And at some point, my parents just caught that. In fact, actually, at one point, they were forced to catch that because I started correcting my parents. Like, I don't know, no, I think you gotta sing it this way instead. And obviously, I didn't know how to sing with polish or anything like that, but I would still try. I'd be like, there's something wrong. And they're like, there is something really nice to this. Like, there is something special. And then that's when they put me in training. I started with Hindustani classical vocal classes. So I've been very blessed to study under Srimati Lalita Mathurji. She is from the Pandit Jasraj Institute of Music. And so the Mewati Gharana, I've been very blessed to learn from her since I was 6. That was how I started. That was my foundation. And then I on and off started doing Western vocal lessons with a few teachers, Miss Gwyn, Miss Anastasia, a few other teachers. I did piano. Um, I also did choir throughout my school, from elementary school with, Miss Misak all the way to middle school and high school with Mr., Tomaszowski and Miss Scott. Um, and then, yeah, the piano stuff with Mr. Lano. And then eventually I even took a course for that at Berklee College of Music with Professor Ross Ramsey. There are so many people who have, taught me different things along the way. At the end of the day, it was that like spark that hit my parents that like, there is, I'm gonna I'm gonna put it in the words of my 8th grade algebra teacher. This is another story, but I'll put it in the words of her. Like when my parents saw the singing and they were basically thinking, for lack of a better phrase, there's a diamond in the rough and we have to polish it. Like we have to polish the talent. And so, yeah, that was how it started.
Wow, you are the Kohinoor diamond.
Oh my God, no.
Okay, okay. So, can we hear a small rap from you then?
Yes. Okay. There is this song. It's called Naseeb. I was very blessed to release it in um 2023. The interesting thing is, a month later after this, I actually got into like a car accident that like totaled our car, and it left me like unable to sleep actually for weeks. Like I had trouble sleeping because I got hurt like everywhere, like all different joints in my body. And the reason I bring that up is because this is what was a watershed moment for me. I've been writing songs since I was 10. I'd always, used to tell people that, man, you know, there's someone out there who's going through what I'm going through too. If that someone can feel less lonely, less scared, less hopeless, anything like that, because I was able to express their thoughts in a way that they couldn't, then that's it. Like, I really feel like my ikigai, my reason for being, that God-given purpose, that's fulfilled. And so I say this because, like I said, most of the time I thought that I was writing for myself strictly, or I was strictly writing for others. Nasib was one of the songs that I felt I was writing for others. But when that accident happened, um, and and it right, I had written this verse that I'm about to sing, uh, after some eye surgeries that I had. But in the emergency room on the night of the accident, those lyrics start coming back to my own head. And I start realizing, like, maybe God was writing these lyrics through me for me, but he was saving those lyrics, or she was saving those lyrics for that time, like at that specific moment to encourage me. And I didn't even realize it. And that's when it hit me, like, what if the art of songwriting, like, what if the miracle of songwriting is that when we think we're writing for ourselves, we're actually writing for others and we don't realize it. And when we think we're writing for others, we're actually writing for ourselves and we don't realize it. All right, here we go. I've got Nasib here. I'll start with the English and then I'll do the Hindi.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Let's do this.
Let's go.
क्या है मेरा नसीब? I'm stuck in a season that makes it so hard to believe. I've gone through a torrent of pain recently, and only God knows when my struggle will cease. Still, I am not grieved. Even if there is no restoration to be seen, and I could lose everything dearest to me, the win away, that's how my whole life has been. Listen, I have gone through little probability. Go do the math, there is no ability. None of us should have survived, but now we're here. How can you say we haven't thrived? There's only one thing that stands in between probability and reality. It's destiny, fate, fortune, nasiib. I'm standing here because this was all preconceived. Yes, I mean all of it, pleasure and pain. All of it's planned out inside of his brain. Without them, my life would not be the same. Without them, there's so much I wouldn't gain. So I continue to train. Life is a school, these problems are games. Life doesn't teach you the lesson, then give you the test. It tests you to teach you because that is best. Trust me when I say it's all for a reason. God has a plan if you're down to receive it. Never to harm you, but give you a hope. Your life is no accident, not a cruel joke. So if you're in pain, don't suffer in vain. Renounce and you'll gain, in your joy will not wane. You'll see that all things for better or worse. Your nasiib is blessed. Why call yourself cursed? Cause you're not. Kya hai ye mera naseeb? Tell me what's my destiny. Kya hai ye mera naseeb? It's all about what you believe. Kya hai ye mera naseeb? Tell me what's my destiny. Kya hai ye mera naseeb? It's all about what you believe. Now I'm gonna go back. This is Prashantji's perspective. तुझे लगे तो अकेला है, मुझे लगे मैं अकेला है, सारी दुनिया को लगता है भैया अपना नसीब ढकेला है, डर डर के रहते हैं सारे ही हम, जो भी मिले हैं लगता है कम, करते हैं बातों से अफरात तफरी, दिमाग में गणित चलते हरदम, ये मेरा वो मेरा, कार मेरी, प्यार मेरा, मेरा तेरा तेरा मेरा, तेरा मेरा मेरा तेरा. किसी को लगे वो है हसीन, किसी को लगता वो है रंगीन, किसे पता कहाँ है बीन, सारे नाचे जैसे मशीन, दिमाग को नोचो कभी तो सोचो हम क्या है कहाँ से आए वो खोजो, तब जाके तुमको जवाब मिलेगा, पहले सवालों को अच्छे से पूछो, अपना तो सिंपल सा फंडा है बॉस, ज्यादा नहीं करना दिमाग को टॉस, जो भी मिला है नसीब से मिला, ज्यादा नहीं. नो हंस के ले ले और आगे तू बढ़. आगे तू बढ़, पीछे नहीं मुड़ना, आगे तू बढ़. क्या है ये मेरा नसीब? Tell me what's my destiny. क्या है ये मेरा नसीब? It's all about what you believe. क्या है ये मेरा नसीब? Tell me what's my destiny. क्या है ये मेरा नसीब? It's all about what you believe.
Awesome, awesome, Sparsh.
Thank you.
Really, I cannot tell you, this is my dream come true. I have been seeing all your rappings, and I was like, only if he could come to my podcast and rap. And now it's a dream come true. I can check
I
that out.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
The times that you performed in front of 1 billion people, I think you were also in Kaun Banega Karodpati and all those things, right? How
Yes.
do you feel when you're in front of such a huge crowd? What's going on in your mind at that time?
Yeah. Um, I with KBC, I mean, the set is pretty like it's a bit smaller, right? So it definitely felt more intimate. And obviously being around Amitabh Bachchan ji, he is like his humility is as tall as his height. And he is so good with words and fluent with Hindi and I I mean,
Did you
man,
speak to him in Hindi?
yeah, and that's a whole other story too, because I didn't even, that was like the first show or like public appearance where I ever like spoke Hindi most of the time. That took like a ton of preparation because I'm Gujarati, so like the main language I spoke at home mostly is Gujarati, which is great because it is a sister to Hindi, but like that I wasn't used to. Like I had heard Hindi for a long time. I had like understood from movie captions and TV captions for a long time, but then it was like, oh, you actually have to speak Hindi. Like most of the audience speaks Hindi, so Sparsh, we want you to speak Hindi. That's what the TV crew said, and that basically meant that for like the 1 or 2 weeks leading up into the episode when we were preparing, we were basically trying to speak Hindi nonstop. Like the whole flight, Papa was like, "Speak to me only in Hindi," and so that kind of tough training is like what allowed me, to speak as well as I did. Thank God, which is still thoda kacha pakka, like it's
Amazing. You
still.
are awesome. You can rap
Thank
in
you.
Hindi, man. What's the problem in talking?
Appreciate that. I was extremely blessed to work with one of the biggest Bollywood lyricists of our time. His name is Prashantin Goleji. He's the one behind, Malhari and Gajanana and the Bajirao Mastani Mary Com. So he's the lyricist behind that. And he's also, a rapper independently. So like it was one of my songs in Diwali at Times Square that I had sang, and then he saw that, and then from there we actually started collaborating.
One more question about your Guinness
Yeah.
World Records. What was that journey like?
Yeah, I will give you the context, but the biggest answer is Papa's encouragement. My dad, there was one day when he was helping me out with like um biological duties. And um he basically like just felt my stomach and it ended up being really hard. And he's like, what's going on? Like, Sparsh, you're not having like trouble, right? Relieving yourself? I'm like, no, I'm not having trouble. And then he's like, pull up your shirt. And I'm like, okay. And then he sees like, dude, you have six packs. Do you even know this? And I'm like, what? I didn't, because it's kind of hard for me to like see down here because this is now going into context. I have a spinal fusion, so that basically means my all the vertebrae of my spine were fused as into one in surgery, and in order to keep that stable, they put two rods and 19 screws down my spine. And the reason this happened is because I had severe scoliosis. My back was really bent either side. It's actually pretty common for a lot of people, especially in the age that I did it with. A lot of people with my condition, they might do it even a few years earlier. It gets that bad. Um, and simply put, before that spinal fusion, I was a lazy glutton. I would eat like it's nobody's business. And when people told me to exercise, most of the time I didn't do it. I would maybe only do it when like my physical therapist, Mr. Gina, used to like come and help me do like some physical therapy sessions. But frankly, that was really only because I like did it, like I had to do it. People would tell me to like do all this stuff at home too, but I never did it. And hence I was lazy. So when this surgery happened, the first follow up after the surgery, the doctor basically said, you gotta watch your weight. And I think I had seen, like one or two like videos of people like me, and I saw like how difficult it can be when you're like super heavy at my age, and it just wasn't a good look either. And I was just like, I'm not going to be that person. Like that was a wake up call. From then on, like I started cutting down on food, and then through the physical therapy that they put me on as I started recovering, that my surgeon put me on, Dr. Shah. Through the physical therapy, I started exercising. That therapy center was like where I first really understood what my body was capable of. When I started doing the red cord, when I started doing the, even eventually standing using like assisted like harness, this
Uh-huh.
that they you can, forgetting the name of it exactly, but like also that was the place where I first lifted dumbbells. I first, yeah, ever. I never thought I would ever be able to do it. Plus, I never thought I would ever be able to stand. But physical therapy literally has shown me I'm capable of this, like through just taking care of my body. And it was my physical therapist, Suresh Uncle, he told me that you should start working on your core for your back to get stronger. And so he taught me like, I think like a version of the leg lift that I did the record for on the red cord. And then I one day I think I was just like, you know what? Let me see if I can try to do this without the red cord. And I did like what I think 30 seconds or a minute the first time, that's it. But then I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can add a little bit every day. So I would add 30 seconds to a minute every single day. And that actually went on for 2 years because I even had injuries in between and I couldn't do it. My dad was then the one who encouraged me to do the record, and the rest is history.
To be really honest, you're teaching me so many lessons. Every small conversation that we are having today, it can become its own podcast, to be really honest.
I appreciate that.
Because you're teaching me how you can incrementally improve, right? You started off with 30 seconds and it went to your Guinness record. I know you're facing all the physical constraints, but when I'm talking to you, I don't remember your physical constraints because you're so lively, you're so happy, you're the smile on your face, the look on your face. It doesn't remind me that you're going through so much. So that's the biggest thing. I think it's that mindset, that spirited mindset that makes you override all the physical constraints. It's amazing to be here at this point of time and talking with you. It's my blessing. Okay.
Same, very much the same. Yeah, I am so grateful. I mean, I feel like you've taught me so much as well. Even just the short time, right, that I've known you. Even in our conversation yesterday, how everything that we talked about, and then like your podcast, right? Episode with like finding the blind spot. Like it's these little things. I find it really interesting that I always somehow early on, I like early into my inspirational speaking career, I feel like a lot of us are trying to say the same thing, but we're saying it in different ways. But it also works because each one of us has our own story, and when we tell the, maybe we're telling the same thing but we're telling it through our story, that will reach people that otherwise would not be reached, because we're like, right, for example, right? Me or your daughter, right? Like we may not listen to our parents sometimes when they give us advice, but then a friend gives us the same advice and it's like, oh, they're coming at it from a different perspective, but they're still saying the same thing. Maybe there's more merit to my parents' advice than I thought there was. Which is kind of sad. It shouldn't be that way,
But
but
that's the
it's
reality.
human nature.
So did you go to review it with your mom?
Tonight,
Good,
tonight,
good.
yeah, true. Yeah.
We all are going through our journeys, our stories. We all have those constraints, but we also have the barriers in mind, right? That
Right.
stops us from moving forwards.
Yeah, no, I think you're touching on something huge because yeah, the barriers that we still have in our minds, even if people have told us that we can't do it, we chose to believe them.
Exactly. Yep. We kind of limit ourselves. But tell me something. What's your message to the audience?
Simply put, always trust the power of your story because your story is the one aspect of you, it's the one world record nobody can break. Nobody can repeat that. Because if we both, right, are being honest, like if I'm being honest, there are thousands and millions of musicians who are better than me. There are like thousands and millions of speakers who are better than me. If then talent is how I'm defining my uniqueness, right? And if my ultimate goal in life is to become the number one in my field, I've just signed up for a race I can't win, right? But if I remember that, no, like the story that I have, like it's not just your personality, it's everything that made you who you are, right? All those struggles, like, you've talked about with your cancer, right? Surviving that, and probably a lot of other things, right? And you talk about that in real time on your podcast, on your blog, all the hardships and all this, the those wins, those losses, those joys, those sorrows, your background, your culture, your own beliefs, your own journeys, the people you met, the conversations you had, the ways you decided to spend your time that forever changed the trajectory of your life, because that's what every decision does. It forever changes the trajectory of your life. Every single thing that you have done and the people around you have done has led up to this point. Yeah, that's just powerful because I guess I would say that if you ever feel like you're in a place of doubt in any way, I would just say, yeah, remember who you are. Your story is That's it. Your story is the reason that anyone can walk into a room like no one else. People may be better than you. People may have more energy, more presence than you, but nobody can walk in with the story that you have.
Wow.
Just own
And
it.
nobody can be more energetic than you. You are a powerhouse, dude. You are a powerhouse. Um,
I
and
love that you said powerhouse because that's exactly what I want to be, a powerhouse. I the power is not for me, I promise.
I've read so many things about you. So no matter what constraints you were put into, you overrode all those constraints and you're moving forwards. And not just that, you're taking billions of people along with you. So that's what is very inspirational for me. That's what motivates me. It's not just about, we all go through stuff. We all endure pain. It's actually not about endurance. It's about going past that endurance, right? When we feel that we don't fit into those boxes, creating our own box. That's what you did, right? Your raga rap.
Exactly, raga rap. Yeah, that's the
See,
subgenre, fusion genre. Yeah.
the beauty of your life is you have so many limitations, so many constraints. In spite of that, You have accomplished so much.
It's funny that you say that. If I may, I would piggyback off of you and go even farther to say that it's because of my limitations that I am who I am today. Because, for example, had I not been born with a condition that I could not hide, and I don't think I would have learned as early as I did, right? That meaning of that saying, why fit in when you're born to stand out? Or, I mean, sit out in my case. And then when I wanted to go to college, right? Ideally, you kind of want to be on campus. You want to be with all the other friends who are there. But it wasn't possible for us to do that. So, yeah, I was able to go to all of these different places while doing my education because I did it online. I guess one could say that every limitation is, I don't just want to say blessing, that's very cliche. I think every limitation is it's it's a freedom in disguise because every limitation makes you more you. And the more you learn to be yourself, the more impact you're going to bring to the world.
Wow.
Life isn't easy for any of us. So when we're still here, we're still breathing and we're still happy and we're still taking the challenges and or even better than happy, we're joyful because that transcends the happiness and sadness. No matter what your journey, what you've accomplished, that is enough to commend all the respect you need, all the respect that you can get.
I would like to just end asking the audience. So this was Sparsh for you. So what's your Sparsh moment? The micro boost for you today is, what's that one constraint that you're sitting on that is blocking you from moving forwards? What's that one constraint you want to work around it and move forwards? So let's end it at a very joyful note with your wonderful smile, Sparsh, and keep touching hearts, keep growing, and yeah, let's stay in touch.
Thank you to everyone for listening.
Thank you for listening, guys. This was the Micro Boost for today. For a full episode experience, read the blog article in the comment section below. If you're not a reader, there is an audio feature available too. If you like the podcast, please subscribe and share.